Oh my god, you guys, I did not think 2025 would be the year that we would be witnessing a Rosanna Pansino versus Tana Mojo drama, and I definitely didn't think it'd be the year we'd be seeing Rosanna versus Trisha Paytas either, but here we are. Trisha Paytas has responded to Rosanna's podcast calling out Tana Mojo, and all I gotta say is I did not see this one coming. It's a mess, so let's get into it. Who would have ever thought Joey Graceffa going on Just Trish last month would have caused so much drama that we would still be talking about the fallout from it all these weeks later? I already have 2 videos on what happened so far, so I won't go into too many details, but just for the sake of the storyline, let's do a quick little refresher. The story so far is Joey Graceffa got the rights to Escape the Night. He crowdfunded enough money to do another episode of it without YouTube Red. It's been in production and Tana was a part of the cast, but no one knew that until she did a story time on her podcast about this weird interaction with a crew member on set. Tana's fans put 2 and 2 together. They figured out it was Escape the Night. They figured out Rosanna was also taking part in it because of something Tana mentioned in her story. Joey then went on Just Trish. He was upset because Tana leaked information. He minimized what happened to her. Then Tana told her story in detail on Just Trish after Joey. Everyone realized how serious it was. Joey got a ton of backlash. Then eventually Tana saw Joey's Just Trish episode and proceeded to call him out on Cancelled once she realized just how much he invalidated her experience. Joey said he was going to send her flowers and apologize, and the drama seemed to end there, until Rosanna Pansino got involved. A few days ago, Rosanna posted a video titled, "Exposing Tana Mojo's Lies About Me and Escape the Night." I have a whole video breaking it down already, so I'm not going to go over it again, but she pretty much went frame by frame and dissected every word in Tana's story.
She did the least amount of work on this project. She had the shortest time on set, and she complained the most.
Yeah.
She was in a bad mood all day, negative, unprofessional. No one is locked in. No one can never not get out. At the bottom, there's these big loops. The loops were so big that you had to hold on to look like you were locked in there.
Rosanna has been getting a lot of mixed reactions to this episode, but mostly negative. There's people who think Rosanna had every right to speak out and was probably telling the truth about Tana over-exaggerating some parts of her story time, but where she lost most people was talking about Tana's experience with the scare actor. Well, I do want to highlight the fact that she did say she believed Tana when she told her what happened. She also said it's hard to believe her when she lies about small things.
I chose to believe her then, and it just makes it really hard to believe someone, not because of like who they are, but because when you tell a story where you're over exaggerating so many things and lying about so many things, it makes it harder to believe you when it comes to serious things, because it destroys your credibility.
Which really didn't need to be said publicly. If you really feel that way, call a friend, text it in your group chat. You don't need to say it on a YouTube video, knowing what the response is going to be. Overall, it just didn't need to be put out there. Then her boyfriend saying that he never saw anyone being creepy with Tana really didn't sit right with a lot of people because, yeah, typically creepy guys aren't gonna act creepy when people are around. They'll do it when they're alone with you and feel like they have a better chance of getting away with it.
No, I literally was next to Tana when she talked to several crew members several times. It was completely normal interactions. So just based on what I saw in person with my own eyes, it already proves, in my opinion, that she is either exaggerating or just lying. And that's not to say when we get to the other actor what he said, it's not to say that didn't happen, but here she's literally saying every interaction with every person on the crew was weird. That's just not true.
Rosanna's video just went a little bit too far. My personal opinion was she had every right to talk about the way Tana told the story about her dad's ashes, and when Tana said, "What if this happened to someone like Rosanna?"
The mental state of thinking, like, what if that was Rosanna Pansino instead of me? What if that was just someone who didn't comment the guy back? What would have happened? My phone's on SOS. It was a very scary awful situation.
Rosanna had every right in the world to be upset and talk about that, but she should have stopped there. This wasn't her set. She wasn't around for what happened to Tana. If everything Rosanna is saying is true, then Joey should be the one making a video. But then again, let's not forget, this isn't a story about Tana being a nightmare to work with. This is a story about a bad situation Tana was put in on set. If the problem in question was Tana being so difficult, she showed up late, she was a diva on set, then sure, this video would have made sense. But it wasn't. So Rosanna countering all these points Tana made just feels like she's chipping away at her credibility in order to invalidate the main issue without having to come outright and say it. It really just wasn't needed. I just can't help but feel like if someone came out about a Beast game set and said that they had a bad experience with a creepy actor that Mr. Beast hired, Rosanna would be all over that story, and rightfully so. It wouldn't be, well, did the contestant show up hungover? Was she miserable to be around that day? Does she have a history of exaggerating her stories? It would just be believed, and none of the nuance surrounding the story would even matter. Now, Tana did subtly respond to Rosanna's video, saying that instead of addressing anything, she's just gonna post lip-syncing videos like Landon Barker does. But the person who did respond was Trisha Paytas. Now, when I saw all this go down, I definitely thought we'd be seeing a response from Trisha, and I kind of thought it would be a similar response to how she handled the whole Joey versus Tana thing. She's friends with both Joey and Tana, and you could tell that she was super uncomfortable when she had to talk about that drama. But when I saw this title, I was a little confused at first, saying she really loved Rosanna and explained how deep of a friendship they had off camera.
I should preface this by saying, like, I really loved Rosanna. Like, we've gotten really close, I feel. And I don't have a lot of friends, but she's someone where we know her parents, we know his parents, we know her siblings, her sister and their kids. Their kids are friends with our kids. Like, we're those people who just go to each other's houses for parties, and we don't have a lot of those friends. So we have a party for our kids. They're there. They always come. We always come to theirs. And so I don't know. I just felt like we had like a deeper friendship. I would say a deeper friendship than even me and Tana or me and Joey. So I was like blindsided by this.
And once again, at this point, I was thinking Trisha was just so upset at what Rosanna did to Tana in this video that it was making her react this way. But Trisha actually felt like some things that Rosanna said were a direct attack on her. She did admit that she didn't watch the full video and only watched a few reposted clips. She first talked about what Rosanna had to say about Tana and said it was a tough watch.
It was a tough watch because Tana obviously, really so much victim shaming on Tana's on Rosanna's part to Tana and Mike's too. They admit that they weren't down there when anything was happening. They admit that she was alone with this guy down there, and yet they still were just saying how much she was a liar. They just kept calling her a liar.
They were dissecting her story when she's on her podcast, which is for entertainment, and it's her story to tell, so it's her right to tell it however she wants to.
And she brought up the fact that Rosanna has been extremely outspoken about Mr. Beast and how his contestants were being treated on set, and how it feels hypocritical for her to then go and dismiss Tana's experience on a set just because her friend is Joey.
And Rosanna, of all people, who started this whole Mr. Beast crusade because she was a victim of Mr. Beast, who she talked about her time here on Scream Queens, where she said she felt uncomfortable in compromising positions. It happens. She knows firsthand it happens, and how many people criticized her.
Trisha also questions why Rosanna even involved herself in the situation since she wasn't involved in the first place.
Why are you inserting yourself on a podcast when you weren't even involved?
Which brings me back to my point of Rosanna should have just spoken out on the way that Tana talked about her dad's ashes and left it at that. Now let's get into the attacking Trisha part. So the clip that Trisha is taking as her being attacked is when Rosanna reacted to Tana and Trisha laughing over the story about Rosanna smoking her dad's ashes.
And I podcast about this, and then all the comments are like, she's talking about never do that. She's lying. And I'm like, why? Where do you people get off thinking that I would make that up?
I have a text that says that. She texted me that's what she was doing. Yeah.
In my video yesterday, I said that I could totally understand why Rosanna would be upset at this. If she told Trisha in a text what she was doing and Trisha responded positively to it and then saw her laughing with Tana over it when Tana's commentary on the situation has clearly hurt Rosanna, I can understand Rosanna being upset with Trisha because of that. You could tell just by Rosanna's face that it hurt her to see Trisha laugh.
Where do you people get off thinking that I would make that up?
I have a text that says that. She texted me that's what she was doing. Yeah.
And then she went on to say, you know, both Tana and Trisha have done things that she doesn't understand or agree with, but she's never judged them over it, whereas it feels like they're judging her over what she did.
Belittle me because I'm doing something that you wouldn't do. These ladies have done a lot of things that I wouldn't do, and I have never judged them. That's what I'm upset about. It's just so confusing and so hurtful and so mean.
Well, Trisha took this as Rosanna attacking her and said that she was not happy about it. She felt like Rosanna was twisting the situation, and she was shocked to see her feel that way when they have such a close friendship.
I think Rosanna then attacking me kind of made me feel some type of way because she twisted things that I said, which I was really upset about because I think Rosanna and I, like I said, privately, we're closer than we are publicly in the sense that she does share personal stuff with me and I share personal stuff with her, and we've gone to each other's houses. We know each other's families.
The other part that upset Trisha was Rosanna's comments about her and Tana not wanting to go to downtown LA.
And downtown LA, I immediately, I say no to everything. Even if it's my own shoot, I'm like anywhere but downtown LA.
Yes, I hate it. It's so far. It's so
dangerous. Even during the day, people just get like robbed. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
It is just like, it is a different world. I hate it.
I think it's just kind of like a snotty thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to drive to that part of town.
They're above that too.
Oof.
Wild.
Trisha said this comment really upset her because the reason she doesn't want to go to downtown LA is because of SAs that happened to her when she was in her 20s in that area.
The other thing to make it seem like I'm above people because I said I was scared to go or that I don't go to downtown LA. That's a hard rule that I've always had. And to Rosanna flip it, be like, oh, she's so above it to not go to LA. Like, I don't like that she won't drive to a certain location. Well, Rosanna, I had a really traumatic experience down in downtown LA. From the ages of 18 to 21, I've had 3 experiences happen in downtown LA. The violent crime has rised down there. That's why it's me feeling unsafe.
And it sounds like this situation has made Trisha not even want to be friends with Rosanna moving forward. Moses was saying how it's hard to picture them not being in their lives, and Trisha pretty much confirmed that the friendship is done.
I just can't imagine that friendship being over because they're so, like, we've been to every birthday of the kid.
Trisha said that she apologizes if Rosanna felt like she was trying to make fun of her by laughing with Tana, but said that wasn't her intention at all, and she doesn't want to be friends with someone who would feel that way.
I was like laughing because I was like, oh my God, she even texted me this. Like, isn't that so crazy? I apologize, Rosanna, if that really did trigger you or if you really thought that I was trying to make fun of. I don't even know how to apologize because if it really hurt you in that sense and you really thought I was trying to make fun of you because your dad died, like that's so far off. But in the same sense, that's why I'm like, I just think we are just so disconnected and so we don't know each other, and I don't want to know that person that thinks that about me because
Overall, Trisha says that she just feels sad because she felt like this was a really great off-camera friendship that she had. She said that she's always stood by Rosanna whenever she said kooky things about Mr. Beast and always tried to see things from her side. So to then see Rosanna twist things that she said on her podcast felt really bad.
Rosanna has said some kooky stuff online, some wild things about Mr. Beast. And every time I'm like, that's pretty harsh. That's a wild assumption. That's a wild thing to say. But I always believe the best in Rosanna. I'm always like, I think, you know, she's coming from this. I always try to see it, how she's coming from. I don't know. I hope this drama thing works out for them. I don't know. I guess that's the direction they're going. Especially Rosanna, because, like, she seemed very genuine coming to our house and talking, you know, just sharing our lives with each other. And she was just so wonderful and nice. And I'm just like so confused how this like flipped.
Overall, this is just such a sad situation. I feel like so many friendships have been broken here when if all of this had been kept offline and they just all aired their grievances out with each other in person or over text, the outcome probably would have been very different. So far, Rosanna hasn't responded to Trisha's video, but Tana has responded to Trisha defending her against Rosanna. Tana commented on a re-uploaded clip on TikTok and said, "Actually crying. I still hope they can all work things out. I said this in my last video and I'll say it again. This whole thing does feel like one big miscommunication. I just feel like reacting through podcast and not reaching out to these people who are all supposed to be really good longtime friends is so messy. And everyone in this situation could have handled things much better." Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below and I'll see you next time.